Okay, folks, welcome back to Action Figure Imagery Tour Reviews. Today we're having a look at Peter Benjamin Parker figure from the film that came out a few years ago, Into the Spider-Verse. I think it was 2019 or something like that when it came out. With the animated film, Spider-Man film, Into the Multiverse. This is the Stilt-Man series, Build-A-Figure. As you can see, this figure comes with Stilt-Man's head. And has quite a few accessories with them too. And the side of the packaging, there's like a clip from the cartoon movie right there. And Stilt-Man Build-A-Figure. And you see Peter, and you see the Prowler, Gwen Stacy, Miles Morales, Hand Ninja, and Frogman. The figures you need to complete the Stilt-Man figure. And you see the left side of the packaging right here. Okay. And the front. And there's the packaging. And let's see what this figure looks like outside of the packaging. Okay, folks. Here's Peter out of the packaging. Just in case as many of you already don't know, the reason why I have Spider-Ham next to him is if you want to complete the Spider Multiverse cast. Spider-Ham did come out earlier, like last year, I think, as a bonus with someone. I can't remember who it was with. So if you're wondering if Spider-Ham exists, he does, for those of you that may be late into the line. And now let's look at Peter as I got him with his cup, his drinking cup, which fits nicely into his right hand, as you can see. That's a nice accessory, by the way. It's my favorite accessory. You can use it with other action figures that got a good grip, good holding grip. As Peter comes with a nice trench coat that's pliable, movable, rubbery trench coat. You see the Spider-Man shirt underneath. You pull it back, and I think it's hilarious that he has mismatch shoes on. If you can see, mismatched colors and mismatched shoes. And as the cartoon look, the back of the head, articulation wise, his head can move back that far, move down that far. It's a very good head articulation, by the way. And of course, side to side head movement. Elbow, get that. Elbow swivel, swivel right here at the elbow, the upper, and then, shoulder, shoulder swivel, swivel at the shoulder, elbow bends, of course, and wrist rotates, and bends at the waist. You can twist his waist, but the trench coat makes it tough unless you take it off. And of course, he has an upper thigh swivel, mid-thigh swivel. You can bend his knees back. Has very tight joints. That much. Bend his ankle. His ankle does bend back, and of course, the pivot right here. My only complaint about this figure is it's hard to make him stand without falling, because he has skinny cartoon ankles. If this was just a regular Peter Parker figure, you got to pose him a certain way to keep him from falling down. See, like that, as he's going to keep on falling. You got to pose him a certain way, and that's my only complaint, is trying to get him to stand perfectly without falling. Try to put him in a good posing position, and it just doesn't happen. But if you gotta position his legs or upper thighs a certain way to keep him from falling down. But other than that, he's a nice figure to have in your collection. That's the only complaint I have about him, is getting him to stand properly without falling. So he fails in that category. Now let's look at Peter. Let's look at a slideshow of Peter. Okay, folks, on to the left side of the packaging of Peter Parker from the animated Peter from the movie into the Spider-Verse. And I'm not trying to be funny or anything or hilarious or be a comedian, but this when you look at Peter here, he kind of reminds me of a comedian, famous comedian Adam Sandler just a little bit. He kind of reminds me of Adam Sandler a little bit. Now, there you see him with all the accessories, the extra head, Stilt-Man, and also later in the video, I'm gonna get once the slideshow is over with, we're gonna have a comparison. No, I'm gonna give an idea of what you can do with the retro Peter Parker, the realistic Peter Parker compared to this animated Peter Parker, a customization idea that you can come up with these two figures, and we'll discuss that. You'll see what I'm talking about later in the video as you look at the slideshow images. And close up of Peter right there. The customization idea is how to transform him into another character if you don't want this to be your main Peter Parker figure. Of course, many people do not, because this is not how us old school Spider-Man fans view Peter Parker. By the way, it's more of the traditional Peter. It came from the retro series, and there's the profile view of him again. He's still hard to stand. That's the back of the figure right there. And I didn't really notice he didn't have any socks on until I saw the back of the figure. He's no socks, shoes. One brown shoe and one light gray shoe right there. Extra hands. Like you're ready to become Spider-Man. The shooting hands and punching hands, web shooting hands and punching hands. And there's one of my favorite accessories, cup, drinking cup. It's nice. The straw is bendable. Also, a close-up shot of that cup. And the head of Stilt-Man and the extra head for Peter with the Spider-Man mask. Here he is holding the cup. Holds it perfectly with the right hand. No problems. It doesn't slip out of his hand or anything. He has a nice grip onto it. There's that. Here he is with Spider-Ham again, as seen in the top of the video. Slide image of it this time. And here's next to the Peter Parker figure I was talking about. You can customize these two guys right here, and we'll finna discuss that in just a little bit on how to do that. Changing up parts and things of that nature. And just transforming them into different characters. I see that potential with these two figures. And we're about to discuss that in a few moments, as soon as this slideshow is over with. There he is with the Spider-Man mask, like he's getting ready to take it off or put it on. And Peter, as you see, other characters can hold the cup just as well as he can, as the original Peter holds it. And that's the okay. The slideshow is about to be over with, as you see the scan of the back. Okay, folks, now let's talk about that customization idea I had between these two guys, between these two Peter Parker figures. Many of you customizers out there might like this idea. Once I tell you about it, here's the idea. If you want to, you could take either Peter Parker figure and exchange jackets, because both of them do have movable jackets. The arm sleeves will still be on, but no, you can take the arms off too if you want to put realistic Peter Parker's jacket onto the Spider-Verse Peter Parker. You can do that. All you got to do is remove the arms from this Peter Parker, and then first you would have to take the torso portion of the jacket off first, then the arms. Same way, take his torso portion off, then the arms. You can flip-flop. You could put, if you want to, because Both of the guys' jackets are movable, so you can do that. You could. I wouldn't want to mess up my original figures for that, though. I would buy me some extra Peter Parker figures. I would buy extras of both figures before doing something like that. But if you ever consider doing that, that would be. Matter of fact, you don't have to do it with just these two guys. You can do this with other figures too, with your arms. I'm pretty much sure you can take off Peter's arms and put him on the animated Peter, and vice versa. And also, if you want to pretend that animated Peter is another person, that he's not the original Peter, you can just leave the Spider-Man mask on his head and paint over the mask maybe a dark color like a dark blue or a black, so the Spider-Man eyes won't show up, and you can make it like he's wearing a skull cap on his head rather than a Spider-Man mask, and you can transform him into another character like maybe a thug or something. So that's it, folks, and hope you all enjoyed this review, and see you in the next video, and everyone have a blessed day.